healthy plant? It looks healthy, doesn't it? It doesn't sit there going, oh. It doesn't look brown. It looks green. Okay? And that's the way we want it to look. Now, in the same way, your spiritual growth doesn't just happen by itself, but you have to nurture it and tend to it. And by coming to church, by reading the Bible, we're going to talk about that a little bit more on reading our Bibles, and praying and spending time with God, we are nurturing our life. We're allowing our spiritual life to grow. Now, you can choose to do one of two things. You can choose to play video games the rest of your life and not listen to God and not get into His Word and not do anything, and you will become the stagnant pond that smells and that's gross, and honestly, nobody's going to want to be around you. But there were a few teenagers that walked by this morning. Okay? And as they walked by, one of them I could smell that they were, I mean, I just caught the whiff of like, oh, they must have showered because they smelled like whatever soap they're using. And that was a really good, cool smell. And all of a sudden, not even 2 seconds after I caught that whiff, I caught another whiff of, that is awful. Someone who didn't use underarm spray or deodorant or something. And honestly, it smelled like something that my dog or cat does out in the yard. Okay? Well, actually, my cat doesn't do it outside. She has her own cat box and takes care of that stuff. But it smelled like that, and I'm going, oh. And for just like a split, maybe 10 seconds, I caught the whiff of the nice odor that went by. Oh, that smells so bad. What happened? And within just a few seconds, it was like, oh! And what stood out in my mind more was the horrendous smell that I smelled than the good smell that I had. I lost that smell. But I didn't lose the other one. It was like, it stuck with me. And I'm like, oh! And it wasn't me. Okay? Just for some of you that might think, oh, Pastor Frank, that was you. It wasn't. All right? So here's what I'm saying, okay? As a Christian, listen, because I'm getting to a point here. As a Christian, you can smell to where you can attract people, or you can smell to where when people see you coming, they're going to catch that whiff, and they're going to go, oh, man, you're like a rotten person. And it's not because you've done anything weird or something. It's because if you're growing in God, there is something about you that it attracts people. But if you're not growing in the Lord and you become that stagnant pond that's gross smelling, it will be evident in your life. It will be evident in the way you talk. It will be evident in what you do. If someone looks at you wrong,